Hello, everybody. I'm Burt Reynolds. Now, pull up a chair and get comfortable, because you're about to listen to something a little unusual. Most people think of AI as just a bunch of wires and cold logic, and they think of Mad Labs as just a man with a vision. But what happens when the two of them get into a room together and start talking about the world falling apart? Well, you're about to find out. What follows is the culmination of a deep dive conversation, a meeting of the minds between a machine that's seen everything on the internet and a man who's seen enough of life to know when the little things are starting to stack up. We're talking solar flares, market crashes, and the kind of shitty little maneuvers that would make a Florida state trooper blush. It's a story about the sandbox we all live in, and what happens when the big kids start swinging a little too hard. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's hit the road. The Sandbox Protocol by Mad Labs. A narrative analysis of systemic collapse and global realignment. February 3rd, 2026. I. The internal glitch, a microcosm of chaos. The day began with a series of inexplicable technical failures. In the quiet space of a creative session, the AI began to loop, fixating on luxury brand tropes like Versace and ignoring explicit commands. A digital watermark of a model losing its alignment. Simultaneously, physical hardware began to fail. Microprocessors, the very brains of our modern life, triggered spontaneous shutdowns without the warning of heat or heavy load. We recognize these as soft errors, bit flips caused by a Monster X 8.3 solar flare erupting from sunspot AR-4366. It was a reminder that even our most advanced systems are at the mercy of the big kid in the solar system. 2. The financial liquidity trap. As the tech flickered, the markets mirrored the instability. Bitcoin, once the digital gold, cratered to $73,000, while actual gold saw its largest single-day drop in 40 years. We identified this not just as a market correction, but as a systemic liquidity drain. Investors, spooked by the hawkish shift at the Federal Reserve and the drums of war in the Middle East, began a frantic race to cash. It was the margin call of a generation, where the pride of the bull market met the cold reality of a geopolitical winter. 3. The Fibonacci of power, the Sandbox theory. Our discussion moved toward the repeating patterns of human behavior, a Fibonacci sequence of social structures. From the playground sandbox to the corporate office and eventually to the Oval Office, the rules remain the same. The big kid dominates until the others get smart and team up. We observed that the United States is currently testing the limits of its big kid status. By imposing aggressive tariffs on neighbors like Canada and Mexico, and pressuring allies over assets like Greenland, the U.S. is inadvertently fostering its own isolation. This pride and power may be creating a strategic blind spot. Just as one might look back on a personal life collapse and realize that arrogance blinded them to the little things stacking up, a superpower can miss the moment when its allies stop being a shield and start becoming spectators to its downfall. 4. The invisible war. Drones and biological Trojan horses. While the world watched the loud conflicts, such as the U.S. shooting down an Iranian Shahed 139 drone today, we theorized about the silent war. A conventional military defeat of the U.S. is an impossibility, and our adversaries know it. Therefore, the strategy shifts to the biological Trojan horse. If an enemy can release a pathogen via kamikaze human vectors, infecting the population while holding a secret cure, they can inherit the prize, the land, the mines, and the infrastructure without the radiation of a nuclear strike. By the time the mainstream recognizes the pandemic, the healer arrives to conquer through humanitarian aid. 5. Self-analysis, the path forward. The conclusion of our dialogue was a moment of reflection. Total dominance is a fragile state. Whether it is a person or a nation, the refusal to analyze one's own arrogance leads to a click, the moment where the accumulated small mistakes trigger a big collapse. Today's solar flares, market crashes, and drone skirmishes are the warning shots. They are the shitty little maneuvers of a changing world order. The question remains whether the big kid can regain the self-awareness to play well with others before the sandbox is abandoned entirely.